Good afternoon, guys. Happy Wednesday. You are halfway through the week. Congratulations to you. I hope you're having a very, very, very good day. We are on the march to 8,000 subscribers. If you could help me out getting there, we're only about 40 subscribers away from getting there. If you're new here, maybe help me out. Help me get there. Maybe the algorithm will start seeing me again. You never know. Anyway, let's get on with some hobby nightmares, shall we? Before we do anything else. I say before we do anything else, we don't do anything else. We just look at hobby nightmares. Today we have Natna, who returns. And Natna is a Games Workshop manager, or an ex-Games Workshop manager, who worked for the company for quite a long time. And he likes to send in stories from time to time about different things he experienced in the hobby through his years working for GW. I actually think Natna worked for GW longer than I did, actually. A lot longer than I did, so... And he's got a lot more of a wealth of experience. Natna, instead of sending your stuff to me, maybe you should make your own YouTube channel. I don't know. Yeah, it could be fun. Then again, all your stories are already online now, so haha, I get to make money from them. Yeah. I'm kidding. Anyway. Natna says, Hola, Senor Exile. Oh, by the way, I am currently getting over a cold. I am nearly there. But as you can see from my voice, I still sound like I am chugging a whole bag of Doritos and puppies at the same time. So, bear with me whilst I get through that. Natna says, Hola, Senor Exile. Hello, Natna. Thanks again for having a place where I can share my Games Workshop stories. You're a legend. No problem, man. Thank you for the ad revenue. I know Games Workshop always gets a bad rep for its prices, predatory sales tactics, and really scummy decisions. But it's also been my experience that in many cases, they choose to hire some really dodgy people. Let's explore some of that. So Natna now goes into several stories, smaller ones, about different people he's encountered at Games Workshop over the years that are, shall we say, a little bit strange. When I was at a red shirt, I'd be sent to various regional stores to help support. One of these stores was way out there. If there wasn't traffic, maybe a 90-minute drive for me. If there was, it could take me over 2 hours to get there. I hated working there because of this, and the company wouldn't comp my fuel at all. That's really horrible. I know they comp train tickets. If you have interviews and stuff and meetings you have to go to, they do that. They get you train tickets for you. But that's a bit, rubbish that they didn't get you a fuel, or at least help with that major drive. I know trainers don't pay for their own fuel, so I don't know why you should have to. Anyway, the manager there was a pretty nice guy though, and was always glad to see me when I'd be sent to assist. He had a usual assigned red shirt, and I'd go there if that employee or the manager were on holiday or sick. It didn't take long for me to learn via the local community that the manager was a die-hard 40k fan. Just an absolute fanboy. Part of the reason they knew this was because he had a big old Imperial Aquila tattooed on his chest. If you don't know what that is, it's the Imperium sign, the double-headed eagle, tattooed on his chest. Excellent. Okay, not sure I'd take that plunge myself, but good on him for loving the game and the lore. One day, I was helping out there when the manager finished his shift and was getting ready to leave. Sorry, that's another email coming in. And was getting ready to leave. I was to lock up. He removed his black polo shirt and was wearing a sleeveless t-shirt underneath. We were chatting for a little bit, and then he reached over to get something. It gave me a perfect view of the tattoo on his chest. It was not an Imperial Aquila. It was that other eagle symbol, the one famously used in the 30s and 40s in Germany. Yeah, so it's a far-right Imperial Eagle rather than anything else. I don't know the man's political leanings, but it does not take a pretty strong conviction. Sorry, it does take a pretty strong conviction to get that largely tattooed on your body. I will say, I never saw him being mean to anyone or espousing some radical nonsense, but realising he had that tattoo definitely left me a bit unsettled. Well, here's the thing. In some countries, it is illegal to hold those views. I'm fully aware of that. But unless it is illegal in your country, he's not breaking any laws. And if he's keeping it under wraps quite a lot, again, he's not breaking any laws. And if he's not espousing his really weird political ideology onto other people, then yeah, he's not doing anything wrong in my eyes. Do I agree with his political leanings? No. But he's not breaking any laws, and We live in a world where free speech should be something that is absolutely sanctified and beyond reproach, right? And in those things, you're going to have people who disagree with you and don't have views that are very nice. It is what it is. What you might be failing to see here, though, is you mentioned that this guy before is maybe in his middle ages, something like that, in like 40 to 50 bracket. Maybe he had this tattoo when he was younger and now really regrets it, and so he covers it up most of the time. You never know, right? You just never know these things. So I think you did well on not judging him too harshly. Yeah, maybe it left you a bit unsettled. I think that's the right word for it. You can be unsettled by something without like defining the person by that thing, which I think is pretty cool. So well done on you. And maybe he regrets it, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe that is his ideology. But as long as he keeps it to himself and he doesn't espouse it about the store and make it all about that, hey, who cares? His ideology is his ideology, and he can get on with it. As long as it's not illegal in the country where you are. Should it be illegal? I don't think so. Simply because free speech is a thing that I believe should be held above anything else. You should be able to say and believe whatever the hell you want. Just don't go acting on it by actually hurting people or actually calling for other people to be hurt. Job done, right? You can be somebody on the far right and far left without calling for people to be killed. I know. Shock horror. Is what it is. Anyway, his next story is, as a red shirt, I'd report to a mall store as my main store. A shopping mall in America, basically. This was where I'd work usually. One of the hobbyists who'd frequent the store, we'll call him Carlos, was truly a neo-Nazi. The man was an avid Holocaust denier, would always wear jackboots, and one time even came in wearing a t-shirt with the SS skull and lightning bolts. Needless to say, I did not much care for him, but he was a pretty chummy with the manager there also, whose name was Jono. Yeah, Holocaust deniers can go suck my balls. Feel free to have whatever opinion you want, again, free speech, whatever. Yeah, but you can go suck my balls, dude. Like, if you it takes a special kind of retarded to have a literal event in front of you that literally happened with photographs and casualty reports, and from both sides, by the way. From the German and, American, British, Russian side. All of them say that it happened. Even the people put on trial, even the Nazis didn't deny it happened right up. I just shut up, dude. Suck my balls. Okay? Just suck my balls. And do you know what? The Holocaust denial thing is something that happens on the left and the right, which is terrifying. Both of you, the extreme far right and far left, yeah, here's my balls, my big hairy balls. Have a little suck on them. Have a little suck on them. There you go. Tastes good, don't they? Anyway, when I became a manager, my toleration of Carlos diminished. Only, please don't clip what I just said there, the last bit. Fuck it, you're going to do it anyway. Only a very select group of people even liked him around, majority finding him uncomfortable and annoying. After an ugly incident where myself and a red shirt informed him that if he didn't stop spouting his political nonsense, we'd ban him, he stormed out. Afterwards, I was talking to the red shirt in question, venting about how it angered me that Jono liked having Carlos around. The red shirt, who predated me, explained that Carlos was actually Jono's first hire in the store, that he'd worked as a red shirt some years before, and had been subsequently fired for selling porn out of the boot of his car to hobbyists. Yeah. Well, kind of saw something weird coming. When you told me that he was a red shirt there and he was a former employee, I was thinking, yeah, he must have been sacked for something weird. The next story, Wayne, aka Statutory. I explained him in a previous Hobby Nightmares video. Yes, he did. Go and check that out. As he was the manager of a store I worked at, he got caught having intercourse with an underage girl in the store whilst it was closed. Yeah, that was a cringy story that I don't want to repeat. I don't want that mental image anymore. That is on the channel though, so go and have a little shift around if you want to have a little look around for that one. The next story. Yeah, that was literally it. That was literally the story. But anyway, next story. Down south from the mall store was a rather posh shopping centre where they installed a brand new Games Workshop centre. It was the crown jewel of the region for a time, even outshining the regional flagship store. At the time, many of the managers in the region applied for the honour of opening that centre, but they ended up having to They ended up giving it to some bloke from far, far away. Okay, bit of a Star Wars thing there, but anyway. I met this guy at a quarterly managers meeting and thought he was fine initially. He was a cheery, stocky fellow who seemed to enjoy a good laugh and a good pint. Seems like my kind of guy. After the meeting, we all decided to meet at a local pub to welcome him into the fold. Everything was going fine. A lovely group of managers chatting and drinking. One of the local managers was super excited and proud because his daughter had just started university, and he was having a proud papa moment of showing off a photo of her at the school. That was when this new manager started making comments. Oh, God. They started as the usual jokes. Oh, she's lovely. I see she doesn't take after you. But he wouldn't stop. It was like he was becoming more and more energized by the comments. And as he kept going, they started getting weirder and creepier and more explicit. Like an old man perving on a young girl. The managers were all rather inappropriate as a group, but this just passed that line, you know? This felt predatory, and the papa manager, you could see, was getting angrier and angrier. Eventually, another manager diffused the situation, but I continued to refer to the guy as CJ, aka Creepy Jones, for quite a while after. Fun fact about CJ, he got himself fired by living in the back of that store. Seems he had a bit of a fight with the missus, and she threw him out. He was busted when the district manager found him asleep in his underwear in the stock room. That's a bad way to be fired. That's losing your marriage and your job, man. That sucks. But yeah, don't do that about people's kids. That's really weird. I know university, yes, legal and all that, but still, it's somebody's daughter. Fucking lay off, please. And they're not always legal, by the way. Some people are 17 or even 16 when they go to university because they're really smart. I had to be very careful in my first year of university because, you never know. This person could be really gifted and be at university but underage. You never know. So yeah, just be very careful. And if it's somebody's daughter, please just don't say that in front of them. Don't be a dick. Anyway, one final story. This one I've been asked to share by some people. On my very last true day as a Games Workshop employee, I was introduced to a fellow that was going to be starting with the company pretty soon. We'll call him Bob. The trainer who introduced us encouraged Bob to take a box off of my shelf to help whatever current force he was working on. Ended up being Skaven, and he walked out with a free box of storm vermin. Oh, that's pretty cool. Not the important part to the story, but stupid details do stick in my brain. Still cool that you got some storm vermin for free. You see, Bob was there to replace him. Okay. Replace me. I don't hold a ton of ill will towards him for that. Business is business, and life goes on. But what happened is that months later, hobbyists I'd stayed in contact with would message me every now and again. So Bob is there to replace Natna in this. Apparently, Bob was using my name as his own Imperial, as his own personal gremlin. Something didn't work? Well, Natna must have broken it. A stock level was incorrect? Well, Natna must have stolen it. More stories kept being sent to me about instances like this, and it really irked me. My wife encouraged me to confront Bob about this, but I wasn't keen on the idea. I like to consider myself a patient person, and the community knew the truth, so what was an argument going to solve? One day, we were in the area of the GW, and my wife saw me looking across the street at the hobby centre. Maybe I was conflicted about Bob dragging my name through the mud. Maybe I just missed the job. I don't remember. What I do remember is, she said, wait here. Before I knew it, she stalked across the street and went straight into the store. I was not privy to what happened in there, but I was told by some hobbyists that she basically pulled a Will Smith at the Oscars minus the slap, demanding Bob stop speaking ill of her husband or there would be trouble. Apparently Bob was just stunned into utter disbelief as his petite woman berated him in the shop. A while later, someone told me Bob was fired after he had a meltdown in the store and threw a stool at a customer. Take what you will from these stories. I often felt like working at Games Workshop was almost its own crazy reality show. Wow. Yeah, I mean, you worked there a lot longer than I did, dude, but yeah, I have I have quite a few stories like this, and it only goes to show that the longer you work at a company that is run by nerds, you're going to come across more and more stories just like this. Fun fact, I had a situation, at my own store, where I had the guy who came before me was a really nice guy and a really good manager, so I never really had to put up with anything that was bullshit. What happened is that we had a manager who was in between us. So there was a really nice manager who was at my store. He left. They got another manager in who was terrible. He left, and then I came in. And so quite a lot of things that were wrong with the store, I actually had to say, look, not my fault. I didn't name the other manager. I said, look, previous manager, not my fault. I will sort it though, and I'd go and sort it. My first couple of weeks in that store was me dealing with complaints about the previous manager, essentially. Just shitty. Just terrible. Anyway. Thank you very much for watching. Love you all long time. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the video and things like that, because we are nearly at 8k. I would love to get there before the end of the month. That would be wonderful. And I would love to get to 10k before the end of the year. That would really put a cap on the year. Like what I do, Patreon is down below as well. And also head over to Composite Games, the link down below, to get yourself nearly 25% off on checkout if you use the promo code Northern Exile down below. Love you all long time. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And I'll see you on Thursday, or maybe Friday. We'll see. Have a good one.